Hey guys, welcome back to Best Health Positively. I'm Krista Novisky, and I'm glad you're here. Today we're going to talk about the importance of being more present or spending more time living in the now rather than spending so much time lamenting the past or worrying about the future or what's happening hours, days, or months down the road. When we spend our present moments worrying about the past and the future, we almost always experience stress, and then we rob ourselves of the gifts that can only be found by being present. Now, full disclosure here, this is an area I've found quite challenging. I'd say for most of my adult life, I've been a pretty good worrier, but I will say I've gotten much better in the past few years of really trying to be aware and recognizing my tendency to worry about the past or the future, and then, of course, trying to be more present. It's funny because I remember my grandma saying to me, even as a teenager, when I'd be worried about something, she'd say, "Krista, worry is the absence of faith." And I've never forgotten that, and now I try to rely a whole lot more on faith. So let's get into the why. I just want to start here. I want to talk just a little bit more about the problem with being preoccupied with worrying about the past or the future and not being present. So first, as I mentioned, you're robbing yourself of the present moment. And I'd argue that's where real enjoyment and contentment are found, in the present. And here's why I say that. Let's do this real quick here. If I tell you right now, you can't think of anything from the past, okay? And you can't think of anything in the future right now. Got that? The only thing you can think about is this moment right now. As you're sitting here listening to this episode, focused on what we're talking about. And if you really do that, it's so freeing because honestly, how stressed can you possibly be when you're only focused on what I'm talking about here? So that's why I say being present allows us to feel peace and enjoyment in the moment. So it's even more powerful when you think of being present like that in terms of relationships and enjoying the person you're spending time with or talking to, focused solely on that person. Or maybe it's your work. Maybe you're being focused only on the task that you're working on and not all the other stuff. So that's one reason being present is so important. It offers you the opportunity for true moments of joy, peace, and contentment in your day, in your life. Now, the other reason this is important, and if you've been a listener here, you knew I'd get to this, right? Being present leads us to a better physiological state. In terms of our emotions, our nervous system, it's just better. It's healthier. Just like we talked about back in the positivity episode, being present leads to those emotions that fall under that umbrella of positivity. Emotions like inspiration, serenity, interest, and that stimulates, remember, our parasympathetic nervous system, which gives us all sorts of benefits health-wise. It puts us in more of a peak performance state and then lessens our risk for disease and protects us from the damaging effects of chronic stress. So the more ways we can discover to activate this parasympathetic nervous system activity, the better. And being present is one of these. So for these two huge reasons, finding more enjoyment and contentment in our lives and promoting a much healthier state, we should make a specific intentional effort to be more present. Now you might be thinking, well, Krista, this sounds good, but that's never me. I'm always worried about something in the future or beating myself up for mistakes I've made in the past. And to that, I'd say, well, we got to change that. So how do we do this? Now, I want to start by saying to you, you can do this. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's not complicated. You can absolutely do this. Okay, now before I get into the how, I want to take a time out for just a minute or two. And actually, I want to tell you guys about a special offer. I want to share a program that we're rolling out. The program starts on May 19th. It's called the Keeping Promises to Ourselves Accountability Program. And I'm excited because this program is different than anything I typically offer. But I decided to roll this out because after hearing from some of you, I think it's much needed. This program isn't focused on exploring past problems or going into depth. It's totally different. It's based on the concept we covered in one of the previous episodes called Keeping Promises to Ourselves. So go ahead and listen to that episode if you haven't already. But bottom line, it's about identifying a few small key things that you would like to focus on over the course of 1 month. And these key things are the promises you'd like to follow through on and keep to yourself. These are small things. They're the things that you know would improve your life dramatically if you actually did them. So you get to decide what these things are, but some examples are getting up 15 minutes earlier in the morning, including prayer or meditation in the morning, going for a walk. So you get the idea. These are not huge changes because it's only a 1-month program that's designed to really build accountability, confidence, and consistency to help you get started in the right direction. So there are a limited number of seats available. The cost is only $49.95, and that'll include a 30-minute coaching call that we'll get on live, accountability texts daily, and a weekly coaching check-in form. So email me at kristanavicki@gmail.com to reserve your spot. My email is listed in the show notes too. kristanavicki@gmail.com to reserve your spot. And let's get started so that you can start keeping those promises to yourself. Okay, so let's get back into the episode. I just wanted to share that. We were just getting into the how we can go about being more present. So today, let's reflect for a minute. Be a neutral observer in your own life here. Think back on the past few days. How have you done at being present? Have your days been spent worrying about the past or the future? Or maybe you are focused more on being present. Maybe you've worked on this. Either way, just do a little assessment here so you have a good starting point. Then it's just practice. Start today with situations you're already in and consciously be aware of what you're thinking and bring your focus back to the present moment. It might be just driving in your car. Focus on being present, or maybe doing something with your kids. Focus on what's going on in the moment, just being with them. And I think you'll find this is truly less stressful and more relaxing because you're not distracted. So there's no real magic here. It's just doing it. It's practicing the skill. And the more you practice, the more readily your brain will go to being present. Because it's easy for our brains to want to go back down that old familiar neural pathway, the old patterns of worry about the past, about the future. So breaking away and forging that new pathway can be tough at first because your nervous system isn't used to that. It's not a well-worn, well-traveled pathway yet. But as you continue practicing, the path becomes more worn and traveled, so to speak, and your brain more easily shifts to being present. So I hope you'll give this a try. This is something that you can really do starting now. That'll definitely upgrade your day-to-day experience of everything you're doing. And it'll bring you more awareness of your focus, which is so important. As always, let me know if you guys have questions or if I can help you in getting started. Just reach out via email, kristanavicki@gmail.com, or message me through the links in the show notes. I'd love to connect with you. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you guys here again next time.